Hi everyone, I'm Liz and welcome to Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. And this is going to be my third Flosstube video where I talk about cross stitch. I want to thank everyone so much for all of your recommendations on Halloween and fall smalls last week. I made a lot of purchases based on your guys' comments, and I'm hoping those come in next week so that I can show you some of the things I bought. I'm very excited to get started on some little Halloween pillows. So thank you guys so much for all of your wonderful suggestions. Today I'm really excited because I think I have some really fun, cool things in front of me to show you. So I'm gonna run through some previous finishes and then one new finish for this week, what I've been working on, and some of the stuff that's come in the mail. So let's go ahead and get started with previous finishes. The first one I have to show you today is something that I stitched for my nephew when he was born. I stitched this back in 2015. And I decided this week to reframe it because I was looking at it at my sister's house and I realized, you know, it was like one of the very first things I'd attempted to frame myself, and I didn't do a very good job. I laced it, but not tight enough. And I put it in a frame that was just a little bit too small. It was cutting into the stitching just a little bit too much. So I took it back off his wall and promised to give it back today after this video. And I put it in a new frame. Yeah, so let me show you that. So this is the Sweetie Pie ABC sampler from Alicia Paulsen, and I don't think she has like a traditional cross stitch distributor. You can only get her patterns on her site. So, and this one is still for sale, so I'll link it in the description box below. This is just so fun. I'll give you a little close up of the little motifs. Little octopus. I think the little envelope for mail was like one of my favorite things. Although my absolute favorite, let's see, is this little quilt. Q is for quilt. I love it. My nephew asked me what all these mean, and I was, you know, we were talking through it the other day, and he wanted to make sure that when I reframed it, I wasn't going to change any of the pictures on it. So he's going to be very excited to get this back in its nice new frame. Yeah. So this piece was stitched on 32 count Stone Gray by Zweigart linen. I bought the kit from her when she was offering kits in 2015. So it takes like 55 colors of DMC, but she sold kits with pre-sorted lengths, so you weren't buying, you know, 55 full skeins of DMC just to do the little tiny motifs. So if you are interested in this pattern, I'll just warn you, it takes a lot of floss colors, and I don't think she does the kits anymore. So just be prepared for that. I'm sure you could look at it and cut it down or just use what you have in your stash. But I just love this piece. When my sister told me she was pregnant with her first baby, I was so excited, and I found this pattern online and just knew, no matter, you know, boy, girl, whatever, that this was going to be perfect as a little baby sampler with the alphabet and all the little motifs. So anyways, Charlie loves it. I love it. I'm so happy it's reframed. And now after this video, I can go hang it back up in Charlie's room. Okay, so next in previous finishes, I want to talk about some more Christmas stuff since we're in Christmas in July, Jolly July, and also just relating to the comments I got on my last video and how much you guys love the little pillows I did, which thank you so much. I pulled out 3 Christmas pillows in various forms to show you guys today. So let me start with this little pillow ornament. This is Snow, and it's part of a Lizzie Kate tiny tidings. I'll put the pattern up on the screen so you can see which one it's from. And this is stitched on Weeks Dove Gray 30 count linen. I'm pretty sure with just the called for colors. I got the called for this pattern because I stitch a lot of these little tiny tidings. And I just love it on this Dove Gray. I think they recommended actually like a petty point on this one, so it kind of looked like it had additional snow, but I just stitched a bunch of tiny little dots of white, and I just love the dove gray. So yeah, that's my first. This is just some probably Joann's or Michael's pom-pom trim. I really prefer the lady dot because you can separate the pom-poms from the tape and then whip stitch them on. This one I just sewed in, and you can see a little bit of the backing, but it's okay, it's really cute. So I'm not gonna fuss about you know, the trim not looking exactly how I prefer now, but it's real cute. I love this little guy. The next one I want to show you is actually one for the pillow basket, and it is, let me see if I can hold it up there for you. This is Basket Full of Wintertide by Brenda Gervais. I think she does all the seasons, and this one is filled with walnut shells, which is why it's a little, you know, pliable. I love stuffing these pillows with walnut shells just for like the feel of it, and just like a little bit more rustic, or not quite as like perfect as like stuffing. I don't know, super into it. So let me give you a close up here of the, you know, Santa with a booty and his deer and all the little flowers and the little snowman. And then I just backed this with some red with white snowflakes. And I did use a Lady Dot Creates pom-pom that I could just whip stitch down to the edge. This I bought as a kit from Beach Cottage Stitchers. So this is the called for linen and floss, because yeah, I just bought the whole kit and I love it. I started this one I think before Christmas last year and never finished it. So this is one of the first things I pulled out during quarantine and was like, let me get some finishes on some stuff that's just been lingering, like some small stuff. So I finished this pretty early on in the quarantine, and I cannot wait to put this out at Christmas this year. I just love it. Next up in the pillow parade, and the last one I have to show you today, is a big pillow. I'll let you get a good look at it before I start talking about it. God, this thing is so cute. It turned out so good. This I stitched, I think a couple years ago, but just finished it into a pillow before this last Christmas. I didn't really know what to do with it. I was like trying to find a frame. And then I was like, you know what? I measured it out, and this is, shoot, what is this? Is this a 12 by 18? It's a standard kind of little lumbar pillow that you can get, and so the stitching kind of fit perfectly. So I ended up doing a pillow finish on this with just like an envelope back, and just whip stitching on some chenille, some Lady Dot chenille, just like my small pillows. So this is a Lizzie Kate Christmas alphabet kit. It was a kit. I think now you can just get the pattern on 1-2-3 Stitch, now that they kind of have the rights to sell the old Lizzie Kate stuff. But I did buy this as a kit, so I used all the called for flosses. It didn't come with fabric, so I actually hand dyed some like pre-tea coffee dyed Monaco. You know, you can kind of buy the like tan Monaco. So 28 count Monaco, and I dyed it with aqua Rit dye. And I just love how this color turned out and how these floss colors just pop off of it. And like, look at the little light string. Oh, so cute. I got the idea for aqua for this from Priscilla, because a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago at this point, she had stitched the Lizzie Kate ABC string, and she had aqua dyed her Monaco, and that just like really popped off. Like all the bright colors of Lizzie Kate and the little, you know, designs had really popped on the aqua. And so when I went to stitch this, I was like, you know what, I really want to do this on aqua, and I am so happy I did. It's so festive and fun, and so this just sits in the armchair in my bedroom during Christmas and sometimes gets dirty clothes thrown on it, but that's okay. Then we do laundry and it looks cute again. Oh. Yeah, I love this. Yeah, so those are my previous finishes. So I want to get into the one thing I finished this week, and it's a little bit of a weird one. Let me just show it to you and then we'll talk about it. Look at this big thing. This is Think Happy Thoughts by Emily Peacock. And again, this is not a pattern you can get at traditional cross-stitch stores. She has her own website, which I'll link below. I kind of credit Emily Peacock with getting me back into cross-stitch circa 2010. I've always cross-stitched, but, you know, just here and there, you know, one project 1 year, maybe I went like 2 years without stitching anything. But yeah, about 10 years ago, I found her site. I found some really cool patterns she had. And I think she still does, but she would sell them as kits. So you just, you know, you bought the cloth, the yarn, and everything. And it came with a needle. I mean, it just came with everything, a big, huge color chart. And it was great. And I think she still does offer some kits. So I will definitely link this below. So you might be wondering, or you might be thinking, that looks like needlepoint. It is on needlepoint canvas, and it is with Appleton Brothers crewel wool. That's what it's stitched with, but it is technically a counted cross-stitch design, and that's how she designed it for full cross. It's just a larger scale and done on this 10 HPI needlepoint canvas with the crewel wool. And so I guess the funny or weird thing about this one is that, so I bought this kit in 2011, April 2011. I went back into my Etsy history and looked it up. And I worked on this, you know, not solidly, okay, on and off for about a year, year and a half over 2011 and 2012. And I just got so bogged down with this brown border, which I of course left to last. And I also got nervous because I didn't know how I was going to finish it. At that point, most of my cross stitch projects ended with like 5 stitches to go because I kind of started panicking about like, how am I going to finish this? How am I going to frame this? I don't know what I'm doing. And then I just wouldn't finish something. Thankfully that has all changed, but that's how I used to be. So I stitched this in 2011 and 2012, and then got sick of the brown border, just kind of put it away and didn't know what I was going to do with it. And then it's just moved around with me, you know? And so this week I was reorganizing my cross stitch stuff in my craft room here, and I pulled this out of the drawer it was in to move it, and I was staring at it, and I literally had about this corner of brown missing. That was it. I mean, like 2 square inches of brown was missing from this thing. And I was like, you know what? I know how to frame things now. I know what I'm doing. I can finish this. I mean, it's either going to be expensive because I'm going to hire, you know, I'm going to hire a frame shop to do it for me, or it'll be mildly less expensive and I'm going to figure out how to do it myself. But I was like, let's get this one done. So Think Happy Thoughts took me, you know, a year in 2011 and about 20 minutes in 2020. And I'm so excited to finally get this one done and framed and up on my wall. I loved it in 2011 and I love it now. I think it's great. So yay, that was my finish this week. A big one. Okay, so let's talk about what else I worked on this week, which is several fun things. So let's get into it. The first thing, like always, until it's finished, is my Cooler Design Studio Holiday Study Heirloom Stocking. And here is the progress this week. So I worked more on that little pile of apples. I got a lot more of the desktop completed and started the back stitch on the lamp and the desk to kind of draw some of those details out. Yeah, so I probably put another good 6 hours into this week, and I am loving the progress I'm making. I think this one is so fun to work on, just to watch like the details emerge. I backstitched the little ink and calligraphy quill. I was like, what is that called? It's a quill. And I backstitched the lamp. I just love watching the details pop out of this. And I always save my French knots for last so I don't crush them while stitching, but I do work on the backstitch as I go, because if I left it for the end, no, it would not get done. So as I complete elements, I backstitch what I can to keep the progress on that moving. Okay, so next up is ink circles after the roses. And I only got a couple hours on this, so I don't have a ton of new progress, but here is what I have. I've completed that top left quadrant and begun moving my way over into the top right. The way this pattern is split on the pages, the top is one page and the bottom is another, so I'm just going to work my way across the top and then move down to the bottom. And I love it. Still loving the colors. This is stitched on a 40 count Lakeside Linen Vintage Maritime White. And it is the called for floss colors, except that I subbed Cayenne for Campfire, which I couldn't find at the time I started this. Okay, so next up in my whips is Plum Street Sampler's Blackberry House. This is one I told you guys a couple weeks ago that I was really itching to get back to. And so I pulled it out this week and gave it a day of stitching. And here is where I'm at. I worked some more on that big blue vase or urn in the center that holds all the flowers. I worked a little bit more on the house, and I moved down to the bottom to start doing my favorite part, which is the alphabet. So that's mostly where I worked. Am I holding this up backwards? No, I'm holding it up right. Okay. Yeah. So that is Blackberry House this week. All right. The next thing I worked on was Land That I Love from Teresa Kogut. I'm so excited. I watched Barbara's daughter, her latest video yesterday, and I saw that she bought this pattern, and yeah, Kim, I'm very anxiously awaiting your start on this because I know it's going to be beautiful and I want to see some other people working on it too with me. So if you're working on this, let me know in the comments so I can go follow your Instagram because I want to see who else is working on this. It's so much fun to stitch on, and I can only find a few progress pics on Instagram. I don't know if I'm not looking in the right place, but if anybody else is stitching on this, tell me because I want to see everybody's progress. So here is my progress this week. Let me back this up a little bit. Yeah. So I decided, normally I'd start in the top right and kind of make my way over to the middle before I start going down. But with this one, I decided I wanted to get down to the bottom to start working on those houses because they're huge. And I know, like, some people love stitching houses. I'm not one of them. I am not like a fill-in person. Obviously I do it. I love samplers. But I know I can't leave those houses to the last thing. So I decided I'll work my way down the right side and get down to that house and maybe get a house done and then go back to the fun stuff, which for me, I'm very anxious to stitch that like strawberry middle section. And work more on those cool letters up there. So yeah, I made some good progress on Land That I Love, and I'm just loving working on that border. It's so fun. I love the scale of everything in this pattern. It's a big pattern. And I feel like the motifs and the designs are big as well to kind of match it. And I like, instead of just like a one stitch border, you know, it's like double. And the flowers are bigger. I don't know. I just really love the scale and the overall design of this pattern. So I'm having trouble putting it down. It's like all I want to work on. But no, I'm rotating. Okay, and the last thing that I worked on this week, and this is what I worked on pretty much all day yesterday when I had time, is Heartstring Sampler's Consider the Lilies. And actually, if any of you know Cynthia Brew Stitching in the Light, she in her video last week mentioned that she is going to start a SAL for stitching lilies on Sunday. So I'm definitely going to be joining that, and this will be staying out and being worked on today. So I'll link Cynthia's channel below if you're working on lilies and want to join stitching lilies on Sunday. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I'll put up on the screen or in the description box the correct hashtag. But yes, so here is, actually, I guess I should open this up. I did go all the way across with my border. I wanted to see the width. So here is, I'm all the way down there. So you can kind of see the size of it. Oh gosh, this is gonna get impossible to show as one big piece. So let me give you a zoom in here. So I worked on extending the border all the way across and all the way down. And then I worked on filling in the little pink tree and the purple tree and started working on the little green tree right there in the center. And I think I added a couple of flowers into the border. And I'll just give you guys a slow pan up. Yeah, this one is so much fun to work on. It kind of feels like I'm making no progress even when I spend hours on it, because it's so big. But it's just so much fun to work on. All the colors, all the different little designs. Like you can never get bored, I feel like, stitching on this. It's just so much fun. But it is slow going. All these little designs are so detailed and there's so many of them that, you know, this will take me, I'm sure, another year or so. It's going to be a long project, but it's a beautiful one. Okay, so that was everything that I worked on this week. I unfortunately did not get any time to quilt or sew this week. I really just worked on stitching. We watched a lot of movies on the couch this week after work, and that's real convenient for stitching time and not so much for quilting time. So hopefully I'll be back with some quilting progress next week to show. We'll see. So the next thing I want to show you is what came in the mail this week. Just a couple of things. So I did share this on Instagram, so you might have seen this already. But I bought just a totally normal amount of trims from Lady Creates. As you know, I love a pillow finish, and I love stitching ornaments. And so I wanted to get a few new trims. I got this. This is Rusted Nail that I thought would look great on some Halloween or fall pillows. I got Union, which is a patriotic chenille color. I got Sizzle chenille, which I think is great for Christmas ornaments. I've used this tons before. I think that's what was on that Christmas ABC pillow is Sizzle. I love Sizzle. It's a very bright cherry red. I got some Vanilla. Always great to have a good neutral. I got Witchy, a very limey, well, kind of a maybe asparagus-y green. It's bright, but it's not neon. And I thought it could look good with some Halloween stuff, depending on the colors used, or even with some Christmassy stuff, especially kind of Lizzie Kate-esque ornaments. So, Witchy. And then I got 2 sets of pom-poms. I got Polar Ice in this cool blue color. And then I also got Ballerina, which is just a really pretty pastel pink. So the next thing I got was a yard of weaver's cloth. I mentioned last week that I got a new punch needle pattern, and that's something I want to get back into soon, is, you know, doing some more punch needle. So I bought a yard of weaver's cloth on Etsy. I don't know if anyone saw, but Vanna Pfeiffer released 2 videos on punch needle basics, and oh my god, they were so great. I really might need to look into that cool punch needle stand where you just kind of lay the fabric over those little hooks, like the grippies. I have a Morgan hoop. It's not even the lap stand, it's just the hoop, so I have to be careful not to stab myself when I use it. But I don't know. I haven't punch needled a lot, so I don't like want to invest too much money and then decide punch needle isn't my thing. So I'll probably just do the flower basket one on my Morgan hoop, and then, you know, we'll see how much I start punch needling, if I'm gonna invest in a big old lap stand. But if you're interested at all in punch needle, I'll link Vanna's videos below. They were so helpful, so great. She has a lot of good tips. So if you want to get started, definitely watch through those. I'll probably watch through them again before I start my flower basket, because I want it to come out good this time and not be a little bit of a flop like my first attempt. So the last thing I bought that I was so excited to get was new linens from Seraphim hand-dyed fabrics. Let's see, Seraphim Fabrics. I'll put her website down below. I think I saw on Brenda and Laura's channel a couple of weeks ago that they had placed a big order with Seraphim, and they were going through their colors, and I was like, I would like to try those. I think I first heard of them when Nicole from Nicole's Needlework had started her Consider the Lilies on Dusty Road. But I didn't know where to find her fabrics. And so I finally figured it out, and I placed probably an unnecessarily large order. Please remind me I don't need to buy any cross-stitch fabric anytime soon. So first thing I'm going to show you is Dusty Road 40 count. And that's pretty true to color. It's a real pretty kind of muted beige. Not a ton of modeling in this one, but just, you know, a really, really pretty color. The next color I got was 36 count Chai, and these are all fat quarters. And so this one I think is just a little more brown than Dusty Road, but still pretty light, really pretty. And then the next one I got is a really unusual color for me, but I think with the right project, it'll be so pretty. This one is called Bee's Knees, and it's a 40 count linen. And so you can see this is a really kind of a golden yellow brown color, and it is so pretty. I think that's pretty true. I don't know if my yellow shirt is messing up the color too much. And then the last one I got is a 36 count linen in Nougat. And this one is a pretty true, like kind of medium brown color, or I guess a light brown. And it's beautiful. These all are. I can't wait to stitch something on this. So of course this means I want a new start, but no, Elizabeth, no. Yes, I'm yelling at myself on video. Okay, yeah, so this is the fourth fabric I got, and I'll just hold these up so you can see all the color differences. This is Dusty Road, Chai, Bee's Knees, and Nougat. So in case you're looking to buy some fabric from her, there's a pretty good representation of the colors. And she has a ton more color options. These are just, you know, I couldn't go absolutely insane and order all of them, so I just ordered 4. And it probably took about 2.5 weeks from ordering to getting them, so super quick on hand-dyed linen. I'm very pleased. Okay, so I think that's all the things I have to show you this week. I feel like I went through a lot. I'll definitely show you the Think Happy Thoughts once I get it fully finished and framed, once I figure out how I'm doing that. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much to everyone who's liked or commented or subscribed. I so appreciate it. The comments are, you know, the most fun thing to look through and respond, and you guys have great ideas for patterns and stores to check out, and I just so appreciate it. So thank you all so much for coming back for a third time, and yeah, I will see you next Sunday. So have a good week, everybody.